Hello everybody, for those that stayed after dinner. Hi, so we were asked to perform a demo, not only talk about our project. So this is SIO, our first product. I'm Dror from Consumer Physics. We're now at, I think, $1.3 million on Kickstarter within less than 2 weeks of launch. We're very happy with the reception we got. What I'm going to do now is do two things. One, I'm going to show you the ability to measure the nutritional value of this apple, which is just here, and I'm going to do it in real time. This is it. And second, I'm going to ask somebody from the crowd. I got a bunch of pills here, and we're going to do it totally double blind. So somebody will, these are totally closed. They will verify it's closed. They'll give it to me, and I'll scan them, and we'll know if we can actually verify the content of pills in real time. Sounds good? Yeah. Okay, excellent. So let's do it. Okay, so what you see on the screen is our small app store with just the bare bones applications that we currently have. One is the nutritional values. It's this one. I'm going to load it up. I'm going to take our current prototype. You can go online and see what's our current prototype and what's about to come. Going from here to the one we're going to ship in 6 months is basically miniaturization of the battery, miniaturization of the electronics, and taking the optics to mass production. We're now going to take the apple, scan it, see how sweet it really is. Then we're going to go straight to the pills. This is a device. You hold it pretty close to the apple, like so. Press a button. Blue light is emitted. It scans the apple, sends it to the phone, back to the cloud for analysis. It's fruit, and it's about 16% sugar, about 70 calories per 100 gram in real time. This is this specific apple. It's not an apple. It doesn't go back to just to look up for what apple looks like in the database. If you have a more sweeter apple, if you have a grape, for example, which is much higher in sugar content, it will let you know. And we're now going to go for the pill app. For the pill app, I actually have this little light concentrator, because if I hold the pill in my hands, it'll actually scan my fingers as well as the pill. So anybody want to be the volunteer? How about, actually somebody asked me, they don't believe it, so we've never met, right? So just find a pill, any pill, give it to me, drop it in this box, and we'll do it. In the meantime, I'll just go back to our app store. I'll take the pharma. I don't want to know. Yeah. So we've never met. This is totally double blind, just a pill that was closed. Just drop it in the little thing over there. Just drop it in there and put this thing on top of it. Yep. So again, we're now scanning the pill. You know what you took? You remember which one? Is it Nusidex? What did it say on the back? Nusidex.
Yep, that's right.
Okay guys, in real time, I didn't have anything to do with it. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. SIO on Kickstarter.
Is this from a database?
What?
This is from a database, the Nusidex?
Yes, it is from a database.
Because I have an alternative pill.
Which one?
I can't tell you.
Okay, bring it on. If it's a painkiller, bring it on. We have painkiller.
It's not a painkiller.
Okay. So these type of pills, I'm not sure. Okay. But if anybody has a painkiller in the audience who wants to give us a shot? No?
I have a pill, but it's not a painkiller. Yeah, it's not a painkiller, so their database isn't that big yet.
So there are two options, right? Either we will recognize it for what it is, or we will tell you we just have no idea because it's not yet in our database. That's the point of the Kickstarter campaign, to actually enable people to always increase the database and uploading the fingerprints. That is the exact point of our Kickstarter campaign. So you can just drop it in this, to this little pill box. Okay. If you can press rescan here. And you know what this is, right? Okay. So is it ibuprofen from Safeway or an Advil generic? It is.
Yes, it is.
Again, we've never met. This is the first time I've seen this lady. Thank you very much, everybody.
So how does it work?
So the underlying science is actually pretty old. You shine light on matter, it vibrates the molecules. Part of that light is actually absorbed, which means that the reflected light that we scan has these absorption bands. These absorption and these fingerprints, it actually create a fingerprint that correlates with the underlying chemistry of the materials, sends it back to our cloud. We have a small but growing, and hopefully after we ship the Kickstarter unit, growing rapidly, database of fingerprints. And in this specific instance, we have actually at some point scanned a generic Advil, which is the ibuprofen. It's either, again, from Safer of its CVS pharmacies that we've scanned in the United States. Maybe, well, with the Walgreens might be different, so if it's Walgreens, might be different. But anyways, this is what what's going on in real time. Again, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate the company here for incredible success in Kickstarter. It's an amazing product. We do something a bit different. We've created the smallest GPS watch designed specifically for young kids ages 3 to 10, which syncs with an application enabling a parent at any moment to know where they are directly on their mobile. This is our watch. The first thing we need to do to create this kind of product is create a product that a kid would want to wear. It's actually much harder to do than to say. And what we realized is we needed to customize almost all the hardware components in tracking devices in order to be able to fit comfortably a wrist of a child, and also make it designed that they will want to wear. And we've received a lot of feedback from the current design that we have. We have a couple of dozen of children already using this kind of device. So that first part, we got it right. Kids love this kind of device, the design of the device and comfort. What we created is an entire ecosystem. What we realized is that creating just a device where a parent can know where they are, it's a great service, but we need to encompass something more. To create a service which provides a safeguard behind the scenes while a parent is far away from the child. So the device itself does a few cool things. First, we have what's called embedded geofencing. A parent will receive alerts, push notifications whenever a child would enter or leave areas like school or home, so they won't need to look at the application at every moment. You will receive a notification, Michael has arrived home safely or has just left school, as an example. Furthermore, we incorporated some additional safety features. For example, if the device is removed from the child's hand, an alert is sent to the entire family. If a child is in need, he can tap the device 3 times, send a panic alert to the entire family. We realized early on, while we were developing the application, that to create this kind of service, it would be best to encompass the entire family. So we actually created the first application for an entire family location sharing service. What that means is that with one app, a parent would sync with the device with features that we've mentioned, but also connect to other family members using the application. So in one application, you could see all family members use all features that we described, and also add additional cool features for app-to-app use, such as, there you go. Okay. So that's how we good picture, you guys. So the application is, again, for the entire family, for kids under the age of 10 or above 3 using the device, and any other family member using the application. Now, if you look at what we've done compared to what's happening in the market, because what's happening in the market right now is amazing, we're actually a niche within that wearable devices industry. Our product is actually located in what's called the personal location devices industry. You probably barely heard about it. It's trackers for dogs, for the elderly, for kids. This industry has barely lifted off the ground. Until today, less than 500,000 of these type of devices, tracking devices, have been sold to date, where it's projected to reach around 70 million families using this type of devices within the next few years. There's an image here that compares Hero to other existing services out there. And the first thing that you can see, what's the clearest part is, this device is designed for kids. What we did in order to create this kind of device is transform something that all of you have seen before into the thinnest, smallest technology in the world. This is an example to our PCB, which is 0.12 millimeters. It took us 3 years to develop this little piece of art. This is a quick comparison to current services out there. And overall, most important, what we've done differently from anything out there is, first of all, create a product a child will want to wear, comfortable in size and design, create a service a parent can use, and it's affordable compared to anything else out there, and encompass the entire family. But the real secret to what we've done is actually the modular technology. Because this piece of hardware was designed from ground up, both in terms of hardware and application and algorithms, in order to be easily adapted to other product ranges. Because what we really envision is, or how we really tackle this kind of personal location device market, which is rarely untapped, is to create customized devices to customize needs under one service and application. So the modular hardware we have in the future will be easily adapted to things like dog GPS trackers. I'm sure you've heard many of them, but none exist, for example, for small dogs. We'll be the first, hopefully early next year, to also launch that under one service. Where we are today, we've also just launched our Indiegogo, we just finished our Indiegogo campaign. We've reached over 200,000 in sales, over 2,000 products sold, and more importantly, the biggest distributors you could imagine have already contacted us already to actually distribute our product. It's actually a very exciting time. We currently have over 24 families in our pilot program. We're increasing that to about 300 in the next 60 days, and we intend to launch the product at the end of the year. Thank you.
All right, so thank you. So next is MUV Interactive. So whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, great to be here with this amazing view. In a minute you'll understand what are those weird things I'm wearing on my wrist. I am Rami from MUV Interactive, and we developed a technology that can sense your most gentle 3D motion of your fingers, no matter where you are in a 30 meters room. So here you see a first early model that I'm wearing on my arms, where this is how the final product looks like. I'm gonna try give you a short demo here. Okay, so the bird is a ring-like small device that sits on your index finger. It can know exactly where you are located within the room. It can sense your gentle fingers movement, where you are pointing at, what are the hand gestures that you are doing, if you are touching some surface, and if you do, where exactly are you touching it, how much pressure you're putting, and it can even listen to you. The overall mission, the target here is that to control any kind of content in our virtual world or the physical world that we live in. Okay, so the first immediate result is that we can take any regular screen, or nothing smart on this surface, just a regular fabric, a regular projector connected to a regular PC, or a smartphone, or a tablet, and what you get
is actually a huge tablet that you can use both your hands to manipulate content.
Okay, another cool example is just this this one. That's just a huge newspaper. We can flip the pages off. And here, that's a good example. We're not only sensing where we are touching the surface, we can also know your exact location and movement in 3D space. Now, right now there is no camera looking at me, not at all. Maybe not ours anyway. There are many cameras stitched here. So let's try to manipulate this 3D content from here. So the basic thing is that we can just teach any kind of a computerized system, whether it's an Internet of Things, smart TV, broadcasting studios, projectors, LCD displays, augmented reality glasses, to just feel and know what your fingers are doing. And actually just 5 or 6 hours ago, Bloomberg TV published an article about Move. It's going to be the first time that I'm watching it, because I didn't have the chance yet. I just put the link here, honestly, true story. So let's just watch it together.
Futuristic film, Minority Report. Tom Cruise uses special gloves, as seen in this clip, and a trio of psychics to track down criminals before they commit a crime. Rami Param's ambitions are more modest. He wants to unchain us from our devices and turn the world around us into a more interactive one. His first target, overhead projectors.
With 1 minute installation process, you can take any one of the 50 million projectors installed worldwide, plus 10 million shipments every year, and just transform them from a regular projector into an interactive room, just like that, by putting the bird on your finger.
The bird, which fits on your index finger, is just half of MUV's technology. Agent?
Yes, please.
Google Earth to the table. Can also project the image on any device onto any surface and allowing you to interact with it as if you were there. Agent?
Yes, please.
iPhone to the sofa. The Agent is still at the development stage. They prefer we don't show the working prototype. But its impact could be just as impressive as Corning's vision of the future. Except the maker of Gorilla Glass screens for iPads is betting on almost everything being coated in touch-sensitive glass.
We think the push is toward natural user interfaces. Voice, gesture, movement, and touch are all parts of that. When you think of touch specifically, maybe you've seen a toddler interact with a tablet or a smartphone. It's very natural for them, and that intuitive nature is why we think touch stays around for a long time.
Covering everything in glass may not be everyone's cup of tea. It's quite expensive for a start. Whichever vision comes out on top, science fiction technology looks to be heading to a screen or a surface near you very soon. Elliot Gotkin, Bloomberg, Herzliya, Israel.
So I'll just wrap it up in a few minutes. So the thing is that this is very practical, okay? So unlike pure optic sensing, that you need to stand in front of some sensor to recognize you, here you're free to be anywhere around space, and you have better accuracy and better precision to sense your fingers' movement. And unlike Corning or Microsoft Vision to cover our entire home with interactive glass, with the second product that we are developing that was referred to as the Agent in the article, which is practically an over-the-head projector that can project to any direction around your home or office. You can turn real-life surfaces like your bed, your sofa, your pillow into interactive screens, like just reacting like huge tablets. So just okay, a quick one, let's finish. Actually, there is another thing, because today wearable technology and new exciting idea, they have a major challenge of what is the first market, what is your use cases, what is the first revenue source that you go there and you bring some cash, not only just a wild idea. And here in that case, we distinguish this market, which is all of the projectors installed worldwide. We actually sold few thousands of units so far, and we haven't launched the product yet. So the reaction from the channels and from the markets are amazing. And this is only the launchpad. This is only the beginning. As I said, our final mission is that you give us a display or an environment, and we'll give you the power to control it. And down the road, we can find some new exciting things. Also holograms, a joint project we are doing with Channel 10 News here in Israel. We're embedding our system inside their broadcasting studios to enable the presenter to control holograms in real time, in his space, the graphic layers that you all see on your screens. Now, they really try to do it with all kinds of virtual studios and with Kinect and with other solutions, and they just couldn't make it because it wasn't precise enough, it wasn't robust enough, it wasn't good enough. And we are using it and it's working amazing, and we're going to be on air there. And just to finish, a few days ago, Move received the Gartner's Cult Vendor Award for 2014, stating Move's multimodal interactive screen supporting a multi-user environment is state-of-the-art in collaboration technologies. We are really happy that we are doing so. Thank you for listening.
Right. So we actually have 3 judges, and I'm going to ask them to come on stage. So you have Charles Michael Yim, the CEO of Breathometer. Then we have Yitzi from YouMove. Thank you. And then we have Yuri from JVP. So Rami, if you can, they're going to be asking you some questions about your technology. So Charles, you want to start?
Sure. So first off, congratulations. As a fellow entrepreneur, you know how hard it is to get a product, at least in your case, soon to be close to market or shipping, right? So kudos to you and team. So one thought that came to my mind is, obviously it's a really practical solution, and I could see it being pragmatic into the industrial segment, so particularly for offices and for collaboration uses. But my question would be, to make the most compelling and sticky user experiences, right? You need to focus on reducing as much as friction as possible, right? So my only concern would be, and granted, maybe your industrial design isn't finalized yet, but for me, if I were to go ahead and put on a presentation to stop everything and to put the bird, and then whatever your wrist contraption, what? Oh, nothing, just the bird.
Just a ring-like device.
So I'm assuming that's an alpha or prototype.
That's an alpha.
How seamless is it? Because all I would want to do is just, for instance, just put my finger into it and that's it. Like, how frictionless is it?
Okay, so eventually, if what you want to do is approach the screen and touch
what you're doing, and you go there and your bare skin is touching the surface. So it's exactly like the experience that we are used to in touching regular touchscreens. Now, as for remote interaction, there is something called in user experience a safe place to go back to. So the bird can always be used just as a regular remote mouse control, where you drag some cursor and you have the left click, right click, double click, scrolling, all the regular mouse functionality. Now, if you want so, you can just
enable something, enable some property, and whoops, you have a remote touch solution. So you can remotely point to the screen and touch whatever content you want to touch. Now, if you want to be more expert users, just enable gestures. And now, when gestures are enabled, you can use your hand motion to control the projected content. Now, it just depends of how expert are you, but for the beginning, just to put the ring on your finger and control the screen, it's just an immediate...
So basically plug and play, but ultimately I think the bottom line is it's similar to kind of like a ring structure,
yeah,
and I can just plug my finger into it.
In terms of industrial design, that's a flexible material. We are using wired flexible materials combined with overmolding with plastics.
Yep.
So yeah, it can expand and
good. Excellent. Good stuff.
Thank you.
One quick question. Your competition, you see as other devices like that, or that the world will be eventually filled with touch-up screens? Because some of the cases you've shown, I'm not sure I want to interact with my mobile phone on the sofa. I'm not sure how physically I do it. And when I want to interact on screens, many of them are, prices that are dropping on touch screens around the world. So how do you see where you see your segment or your strength comparing to the touch screens, which probably the world will be full of?
Okay, so it may be weird to say it, but touch is not exciting so much anymore. Touch is only one thing that you can do with it. But eventually, when you're sitting in your home or in your office, you don't necessarily want to go and touch every screen. You want to combine a mixture of interactive abilities to get a real user experience. So you want to talk to it, you want to use your hand gestures, maybe you want to touch it remotely. Now maybe you want to rub it over it's not just going touching the screen. So touch is only one thing, and here we get a comprehensive interactive experience. In addition, let's take today's solutions. Today, to take this projected screen and transform it into an interactive screen, you either need to get a huge capacitive board and to put it there and to project the screen on it, and yet you get only the touch ability, or an interactive projector that comes with a pen, or you can put an IR frame there, or acoustic sensing and all kinds of things. But the main thing is that all of those solutions just transforming this surface into a touch surface. Okay, so they are dedicated to this surface and only for touch. Well, with the wearable approach, okay, we have nothing to do with the surface. The surface is completely dumb. This is why you can turn your pillow into a tablet, because we don't need the surface to do anything. You don't need a capacitive layer to be there. So it's not just your pillow. If it's more easy for you to think of it, just think of the entire walls or the entire home and any surface around you. And that being said, to take a flexible screen, like a roll-up or roll-down, which is what you have in 80% of the setups worldwide, there is not a single technology that can transform a flexible screen into a touch screen currently. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Just two questions. One, maybe a simple question. Is it comfortable? Because I mean, it reminds me of this, you know, when you go to the doctor and you broke your finger.
That's a model, and yes, eventually it is comfortable. You won't feel.
Let's go more in the future. You're planning to make like a simple
ring.
Something, yeah, simple ring, because the design is still something which is.
You've seen this one. This is a snapshot of 7 months ago when we got funding, you know. It's been reduced to this one. Please be sure it will continue to minimize.
And one other question. Today, I mean, whether you take the touch screens that are becoming, you know, are already multi-touch, you know, you use several fingers, you know, whether it's the whole hand, 5 fingers, or take, you know, things like leap motion, which are, you know, really getting. You're going to have, you know, for each one of the fingers, meaning how do you deal with, especially because people are used to touch screens, if they're used to using, you know, touch with several, what happens here?
Of course, okay, so the short answer is of course not. We don't need one on each finger. And take as an example, okay, let's take some Kinect sensor. This is standing in front of him, okay? So here, instead of using both your hand, which is an experience we mimic from tablets and smartphones with this gesture, okay, to zoom in, zoom out, and rotate. So when you have the Z-axis so accurate, you can zoom in, zoom out. When you know your hand posture, you can rotate the content. So you don't really need both your hands. That's one thing. And you can sense your hand posture and other fingers where the index finger is leading, because think of you using your smartphone, the index finger is doing 99.9% of the job.
So it's more gesture technology than a touch for every surface.
I can know exactly where you're located in space.
So I'd like to thank all the judges for coming, and I'm going to call Signal on stage. Curio, if you can just come over. Yeah, you guys can just take a seat. Sure. Thank you.
Hey guys, how are you doing tonight? There you go, listen, we're still alive. So clapping, that's awesome. I'm very happy about this. So listen, if you had the chance to stop by my little table there, then you already know what Signal does, and I'm just gonna run through it very quickly. I'm not doing a pitch here. So what we do are biosensing shirts. These are shirts that sense your heart rate, that sense your breathing, your movement, and you can do a lot of very cool things with that. We're doing some really interesting things that will really help people improve their fitness, track their progress, and many other things. Now, when you registered, when you were at the reception downstairs, you received one of these cards, right? And so if you filled it out, you're actually entering into a chance to win one of these shirts. So a shirt that looks like this. Right, and if you still have your card, So go back to my desk and put it there. And if you got the answers right, we'll contact you by email, and one of you guys will get one lucky shirt. And I'm actually gonna tell you which one are the right answers. I think nobody's still writing this, so that's fine. Nobody's gonna cheat. So for the first one, which one of the following sports burns the most calories? And the right answer is actually squash, right? Very few people actually got that one, I have to admit. There were people who said tennis, and there were people who said yoga, but the fact of the matter is, and again, we measured it with our shirt, and the shirt gives you really, really accurate measurements because it tracks not only movement, but heart rate as well. And the most calorie-intensive sport that you can play is actually squash. Now, the second question was, which one cannot be improved with fitness training? So which one of these qualities cannot be improved by training? And the options were cardiac output, heart rate recovery, resting heart rate, breathing efficiency, and finally lung capacity, which was the right answer. So your lung capacity is actually genetic. Once you stop growing, once you reach adulthood, it doesn't change anymore. What you can improve, however, is your breathing efficiency, so you can breathe better. You can breathe a little bit more oxygen into your lungs with training. You can do that. And finally, the last question was, which is better to boost fitness performance? And the options were breathe faster but more shallow, or breathe deeply but at a lower rate. A lot of people actually got this one right. So this one was breathe deeply but at a lower rate. And why is that? Because that will allow you to improve your gas exchange in your lungs, right? What you need to do, you need to get air out, you need to get air in. If you're breathing too fast, that's not happening. You're not getting enough oxygen to your muscles. And that is the answer. So those of you who got it right and filled out their email legibly on the bottom of the form, very quickly, probably tomorrow, we'll do the draft and we'll send you an email and we know which one is won. And if you haven't had a chance yet, I'll still be there for a little while, so you can, stop by and take a look at the shirts. Thank you, guys.
So thank you to Tanir. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. So with that, I would like to thank all the speakers who came today, and of course, I'd like to thank our sponsors and all of you guys. I think we put together a great event, and we'll be back next year. So thank you for coming.
Enjoy the networking and the drinks. Thank you.